Hello everyone, my name is Yinqing Fang. This is my partner Liu Yongchen. Our topic is how to restrain in-game inflation monitoring and alerting of economical system.
The virtual world described in the movie Ready Player One is a dream of each game developer. Once the developer allows the game currency and items to be traded within the game among players, then there may be such a situation. The players are complaining, why do I need to use more money to buy the required items? Similar to the negative emotion inflation in the real economy, the price of the item rises rapidly, giving bad feelings to players. The US government hopes that the annual price increase will be controlled at around 2%, which is healthy. The United States influences it through the Federal Reserve System's monetary policy. So what about the game? Yes, we also need to be alert. We must know that the inflation of the game is also derived from the amount of money in the game. When the amount of money circulated is greater than the demand, it will push up the price. NetEase, one of the most important game developers in China, has been working on the development of very complex large MMORPG for 15 years and have accumulated a lot of experience in monitoring, predicting, and regulating the game economic system. Here we believe that this experience will be friendly to even sample game, even if not a MMORPG. If you are thinking about making a game that lets players trade, today's talk will be very useful. Next, we will first explain how the economic system works. We will demonstrate some cases which appear in two popular Chinese games. One is a mobile game, Ghost, and the other one is a computer game, Justice Online. We will explain it as clearly as possible. In the MMORPG, we first made it clear that the players invested time and money and eventually gained the ability. In this process, players naturally divide their labor, get money, produce items, and trade with each other. All these things formed an economic system. As we can see, the economic system often contains at least two currencies, gold and silver. Gold is obtained through players paying, and silver is obtained by spending time participating in specific dungeons. Gold can be traded once and can no longer be traded. Silver is not limited. Gold can buy some non-tradable items to raise ability directly, such as strengthening your weapons. Silver can improve another part of the ability, such as skill level. There are also some tradable items such as equipment, which are readily obtained through gameplay and can also be traded. Everyone is fair to get it. This means that both rich and the ordinary players need gold, silver, and tradable items. Therefore, the market in the game is formed. After understanding the above all concepts, we can see that they are very similar to the real world. Games are like the central banks issuing currency, allowing the users to use their time to produce items and finally collecting money and items back. This will allow us to better understand the economic system and inflation in the game. They are all caused by the imbalance of people, money, and items in the game. We summarize the 5 common causes of inflation in the game, including too much game currency is issued, or the production of key item is not enough, or the number of players is declining, or some people try to monopolize specific items, and sleeping money suddenly released. We will explain these 5 causes one by one. After the explanations, we would share the experience we gained in the monitoring and intervening in inflation. This is our first example. Too much game currency is issued. Then you may want to imagine that in real life, can our government or the central bank print unlimited banknotes? If a large number of banknotes are issued unrestrained and the goods in the market are limited, then price will generally rise. If there is no means of collecting this money at this time, price will continue to rise and inflation will occur. If the Federal Reserve System unconditionally activates the printing press, the dollar will soon become Zimbabwean dollars. Correspondingly, if there are too many current issues in the game players will expect that the game virtual currency will depreciate quickly. He will not hesitate to spend the money immediately. Destroyed confidence and the rapid flow of money create multiple problems for you, so you need to balance the current distribution in a planned way. This came to our second case. The production of key items is not enough. Some players don't have the energy to spend a lot of money in the game. They are willing to buy virtual gold coins from other players and then exchange them for their dream equipment and items. Others, playing the role as a farmers, exchange the fruit of their labor with those rich guys. We found that the items that game farmers produced, which often are at a stable price and with large demand, have big impact on the price. Like oil in the United States or pork in China, if production is insufficient, consumption index will rise rapidly. As we said, there are many types of players. Some are willing to spend more time, some are willing to spend more money. If the number of farmers who are willing to spend more time purchasing items decline rapidly, rich players will be unable to buy what they want, and the price will rise. And those rich players quickly lost, price will fall. As a result, you need to get to know your players better and find out who is gone in the first place, potentially preventing a disruption in the balance of supply and demand. This is a problem we want to illustrate in our first case, which is that someone is trying to monopolize a particular item. There's a special group in the game, businessmen. Different from the ordinary players, some businessmen will try to purchase a large number of items produced by them from others to form a monopoly and to manipulate the price of the items. Eventually, players will have to pay more. Do not underestimate this group of businessmen. In China, their enterprise operation set up a company, had a large number of staff specialized in playing game, and even develop a trading program. They will trade the game currency offline and eventually convert it into real money. You need to identify exactly who is a farmer, who is a small businessman, who is a company, and who is a robot, so as not to hurt a good man. I don't know if you have the experience of tracking AFK players. Usually we mistakenly believe that after players left, the currency he holds, which is called sleeping money, should not be considered. But sometimes a successful marketing campaign will attract a large number of lost players to return. Their previously held currency will suddenly be released and the price will rise rapidly. So even if a player left, you can't relax your monitoring of this type of currency. So far, here are 5 of our typical cases. After showing the 5 inflection cases in the game, how do we monitor or intervene in this case? Let my colleague Qingfang share with everyone.
Hello everyone, my name is Yin Qingfang. It's my turn to introduce the following. In this part, we will focus on the issue collection stock and the exchange rate of game currencies, the prices of key items, and the whole currency circulation process in the game. To help you understand We will show the results of our work with pictures and texts, hoping you can learn something from our talk. The first is to monitor the game currencies. Let's assume our game system is the central bank. Then the game developers are the presidents of the bank. We have to have the ability to quickly know how much money is still in the market and how much money we are issuing and collecting today. In the NetEase game's economical monitoring system, we first use this chart to monitor the general status. In the center of the chart is the current total amount of each currency in the game market. On the left side of the chart is the currency issued by the game bank. They keep pushing the amount of money in the whole market to increase. But on the right side of the chart, we eventually collect the game's currency in lots of ways. For example, players can improve their ability by purchasing and using items. At the bottom of the chart, we monitor the game's trading behavior, and each type of trading is represented by a specific module. Finally, just by looking at the colors or the numbers on the chart, our team members can make a general judgment about whether the money quantity is stable. If someday we found that the amount of money produced on a given day is much larger than the amount collected, we need to be alert. Is there something wrong? At this point, we need a second visualization tool, which is called the details of money. It shows where each kind of currency came from and where it went. Here, I use silver in the game as an example. The table on the left shows how the game releases silver, such as playing dungeons or opening a gift box. As you can see, more than 10 billion silver has been released this day, among which gameplay A accounts for the highest proportion. The table on the right shows how the game collects silver, such as players spending silver to upgrade skills, shopping in the silver mall, and so on. And then we saw that about 9 billion silver was collected throughout the day. The other 5 billion of oversold silver goes into the stack at the top of the chart. We can judge how much time we have to fix these problems based on the stock of silver at the top of the chart. If we accidentally make a mistake and issue excessive silver, we will do two things. One, fix the source of the actual silver. Two, increase short-term collection channels to rebalance the stock. Then we will keep looking at the chart, and if we just started a new activity or sold a new item to collect the actual part, we can see the effect of the currency collection right here until the stock at the top of the chart returns to a stable level. After talking about the issue and collection of currencies, there's a concept I have to mention, which is exchange rate. As we said before, for MMO games in China, gold is acquired through paying and silver is acquired through game playing, both of which can conduct transactions in a limited way. In time games like World of Warcraft, gold is similar to the WW tokens you get when you make payments. And silver is similar to the gold coins that you can get in the game, and they can also be traded with each other. As we all know, the price of WW tokens goes up and down. This currency conversion, we call it the exchange rate. If the exchange rate rises fast, the silver that the farmers earn in the game quickly becomes worthless, and the farmers will feel the price rising. Therefore, we need to continuously monitor the changing price fluctuation and the trade of gold and silver. As we can see in the video, we have designed a gold-silver exchange rate chart, much like the stock market, including price trade and trade volume trade. The price trade chart in the upper half represents the exchange rate of one gold to silver. The chart resembles many crosses of different sizes. Red means the exchange rate is going up, and green means the exchange rate is going down. By the way, the color is the same as the Chinese stock market, which means it's the opposite of the American stock market. You know, we are a Chinese company, and red means lucky in China. The color represents the middle difference between today's and yesterday's transactions. The taller the color, the larger the price difference between these 2 days. The vertical line represents the distribution of transaction price of the day. The top represents the highest transaction price of the day, and the bottom represents the lowest transaction price of the day. If the line is long, there may exist some abnormal trading. The trade chart below shows the value of transactions between two currencies on the day in a manner of bar charts. Normally, there should be no sustained or significant fluctuations in the exchange rate, but like the chart we show here, exchange rates have risen sharply. We must fully investigate every trade and deviates from our expectations to see if there's any manipulation of currency prices. Let's say someone sells in bulk or buys in bulk. Let's see what he does with it. If someone buys a lot of free-flowing money like silver, there are several possibilities. 1. This guy propels offline transactions with others. 2. He plans to buy expensive equipment such as real weapons. 3. She is trying to purchase key items in large quantities, maybe for monopolizing. Therefore, we are monitoring the prices of key items to prevent them from rising and make players feel inflation. Our game consumption index is made up of a series of key items. Here we can see that red represents the average price of the items, green represents the transaction price fluctuation, and the numbers show the sales volume. Click on the small chart to see the details of daily transactions. Thank God for the 5 items on this chart. Their selling price trades are pretty stable. If they have huge fluctuations, we will adjust the production of these items. The above monitoring focuses on the currency itself. What about the process of person-to-person transactions? This is also very important, and we found a good way to do it. To record the whole transaction process, we designed a visualization system for the transaction process to focus on the civil trade between different players. As you can see in the video, we use this network to present people's China network. This network has 2 elements, circles and lines. A circle represents a player, and the larger the circle, the greater the player's trading value. The lines represent transactions between players. The arrow on the lines represent the flow of silver, and the colors of the lines represent the amount of silver. These deals are linked together to form a vast network of players' transactions. We can look at the size of the circles to find people who are trading in large amounts, who are likely to be more important people in the economical system. No matter how carefully players disguise their every transaction, as long as the players are involved in transactions of a large amount, the charts still can help us identify them. When we want to see a player's trade, we can click the circle to display his trade records. From this graph, we can determine what the currency circulation of each other is like, and more importantly, whether there exists any suspicious currency circulation. Let me share with you a case from our real work. We have found that there is a flower-like trading relationship in the game. According to that, the circles represent the players and the lines represent the chat. The flower chart clearly shows that there was a strange changing relationship in the game at that time. That is, one player and dozens of other players had frequent two-way trading behavior, and this pattern was kind of outside the overall trading market. Don't you think that is so weird? I mean, why a player wants to fund a bunch of players, giving the money away and getting it back? We use this client to identify some players, take advantage of some loopholes with the game design, and make profits. Soon we investigated that and managed to fix it. In a word, we have introduced the economical system and inflation of China's MMO, as well as some cases and visualization tools of monitoring and intervening in inflation. Our original intention is through this talk to help Western game developers know how top game developers in China design monetary economical systems and how to monitor key and data and create visualizations, and how to conduct early warnings and intervention. Any developer who wants to process, control currency issue or considers to add player trading into games, we believe this talk will be very valuable. We have a lot of extraordinary experience in this area, and we hope to have the opportunity to share it with you. Thank you.